Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Code 369, and this is JavaScript algorithms and data structures class, and this is a part of full stack development course, and today is class 61. So far we have completed basic JavaScript, and I have to mention the website name here. The JavaScript which we are learning is from the website freecodecamp. Okay, I have given the link to this website, and this is a self-learning platform where you can learn by yourself. Okay, that is the benefit of this website is. So self-learning is the best way of learning, so you can prefer that, or even if you can, or even if you want to learn from my videos, that is also fine. Okay, everything is fine. So far we have completed basic JavaScript, ES6, regular expressions, debugging, basic data structures. Okay. So now we will be seeing basic algorithm scripting. So here what they are saying is the formula to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit is the temperature in Celsius times 9 by 5 plus 32. Okay. So what they are saying is, if you have to convert the temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit, you have to give the temperature which is in Celsius into 9 by 5 plus 32. Okay, that is the formula. You are given a variable Celsius representing a temperature in Celsius. Use the variable Fahrenheit already defined. So blah blah blah. Okay. So what they are telling here is they are having a function. Okay. We are having a function and we will be giving a parameter called Celsius, and that is temperature. So temperature in Celsius. Okay. So when we are calling the function, we are giving the Celsius as 30. Okay. So what we have to do here is we have to convert the temperature in Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay. And we have to return that. That's it. And for converting that, we are seeing a formula here. Okay. So what we have to do is they have already assigned let Fahrenheit. So we have to give the formula here. For example, we have to give Celsius. Okay. And we have to give multiplication. And we have to multiply that by 9 by 5. And then we have to add 32 here. Okay. So now the temperature in Celsius will be converted to Fahrenheit, and we are returning that Fahrenheit. Okay. So we can be seeing the result also. For example, I am giving console.log of, okay, this. So you can see 86 here. Okay. So when we are giving temperature in 30 in Celsius, the Fahrenheit will be 86. That's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now we are going to see reverse a string. Okay, we will be having a string and we are going to print the reversed version of that string. For example, here you can see hello, this is a string. So how we will be printing is OLLEH. Okay, like that we are going to reverse the string and we are going to print it. Okay, so that's it. So I have returned the answer now. Okay, so I will be explaining it to you very easily. For example, here we are having a function. Okay, and that function receives a string. Okay, and that parameter is named as str. Okay, so this str is nothing but a string, and when calling the function, they are giving string as hello. Okay, so this is the string which we have to reverse. For example, we have to reverse it as OLLEH. Okay, so for that we will be using for loop. So let us separate this code. Okay, for example, there is a function okay, and there is an argument. Again here we are declaring a new variable, okay, then we are using for loop, then we are returning, okay. So why do we declare a new variable here? So why do we declare a new variable here? Because we are going to reverse the string and we are going to store it in this variable, okay. For example, we have to print OLLEH, okay. So directly we cannot print this. So we are going to save this string inside this, okay, in this variable. So finally we will be returning that new string, okay, this reversed string. So that's it. So how we are going to make it reverse and store it in the string? So that is what the concept here is. So we are using for loop. So using for loop, what we will be doing is, first we will be accessing this O, okay, the last element and the last character in the string, okay, O. Then what we will be doing is, we will be storing that O here, okay. Then what we will be doing is, we will be accessing this L, then we will be storing L here. Then we will be accessing this L, then we will be storing L here, okay. Then E, okay, then H. So we are storing like this. So how we are accessing each character of the string? So that is why we are using for loop, okay. To access each character we are using for loop. So that's it. So delete this string should be empty, okay. First the string should be empty. Next we are using for loop here. So how to access each character? So that is why we are using for loop. So how to use it? Actually we have to use index, okay, indexing. So we are going to give the index of the string. You already know what is index, okay. So we have to access every character using the index. So in the for loop I am declaring a variable called I, and I am setting the initial value for I as str length dot minus 1. So string dot length minus 1. So what we are doing is, initially we have to access this O, okay. Initially what we have to do is, we have to access this O and we have to store it in the string. And in order to access this O, we have to use indexing, okay. So how to find the index of the string? This index of O is nothing but total length minus 1, okay. So we already know all these concepts, we have already discussed all these things, okay. So total length is nothing but 5. So 5 minus 1 will be 4, okay. So 4 is the index of O. So why the fifth character has become the index of 4? Because the index always starts from 0. So the fifth character will be having index of 4, okay. So to write that, we are using hello dot length minus 1, okay. Hello is nothing but, here we can call it as str, okay, that is the argument. So initial index will be str dot length minus 1. So initially we are accessing the last character of the string, okay. So at first the I will be having str dot length minus 1. So it will be accessing O. Then it will be entering into the block, okay, with the I value of str dot length minus 1, okay. Then what it will be doing is, it will be that particular O, here this O will be added to the reversed str, okay. So how to add it? We are going to use reversed str plus equal to str of index I. So this str of index I is nothing but O, okay, because initially we are giving index of str dot length minus 1. So this str of I at the first iteration is nothing but O. So this O will be added to the reversed str, okay. Then what we have to do is, we have to access the L. So the index value has to be reduced by the value of 1, okay. So we are using I minus minus. So we are using I minus minus. So the index value will be reduced by the value of 1. So it will be accessing L. Okay. Then str of the present index, that is L. Okay. That will be added to the reverse str. Like that the index will be getting reduced and the values will be added. For example, first O and then L and then L and then E and then H. Okay. So up to which index it should be reduced? I greater than or equal to 0, because the initial index is 0, okay. So the I value should be greater than or equal to 0, okay. The I value should not get less than 0, that's it. So that is how we are doing it. So finally this hello will be stored in the reversed order here, okay. Then we will be returning that variable, that's it. Now we are going to see factorize a number. For example, factorization is nothing but, here we can see 5 factorial. It is nothing but 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Okay. So factorizing is nothing but multiplying from 1 to that number. Okay. 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So that is what we are going to do now. Only integers greater than or equal to 0 will be supplied to the function. Yeah, okay, this is not necessary here, okay. So here we can see a function, okay. Here we can see a function and it is receiving an argument of num. So this num is nothing but 5 here, okay. When we are passing when we are calling the function, we are giving value as 5 to the num, okay. Then what we have to do is, up to that 5 we have to give the factorization. For example, we have to return the value of 1 into 2 into 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5, okay. We have to return this value. So how to do it? So we are going to use for loop. So let us see how to do it. So what we have to do is, we have to return the value of it. For example, what is the value of 1 into 3 into 4 into 5? This is 120. So we have to return this value, okay, final output. So in order to return that final output, what we are going to do is, we are going to declare a variable called let result, okay. We are declaring a variable called result, okay. And we are setting the value for it as 1. Okay, we will see why we are having the value of 1, okay. Now we are going to use for loop here, and I am declaring the initial value as I, and I am going to give the initial value as 1, okay. Then I am going to be increasing the value by I plus plus, okay. And this I should be less than or equal to num, okay. Then I am going to be using block here, and in this block what we will be doing is result into equal to I, okay. Then finally we will be returning the result, okay. So that's it. If I am printing this message, console.log of, so it is giving the result of 1. So what is the problem here? So the mistake which I have done is I should be less than or equal to num, okay. So it is returning the value of 120. So let me explain it, okay. This is very simple. Now what we are going to do is, we are having the initial value of I as 1, okay. So what we are going to do is, we are going to multiply 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5, okay. So here you can see I have taken the initial value of I as 1, okay. I as 1. So then what we are going to do is, we have to multiply with 2, and then we have to multiply the result with 3, and we have to multiply this result with 4, okay. And then we are going to multiply this result with 5, okay. So initially I am taking the value of I as 1, okay. So 1 will be entering into this block, okay. Then we will be multiplying that 1 with the result variable, okay. So the result variable is initially set to 1. Now the result variable will be multiplied with the value of 1, okay. So now the result variable will be having the result of 1, okay. Then what I will be doing is, I will be increasing the value. Now I have to multiply 2. So I am giving I plus plus here. So now 2 will be entering here, and as the result variable is having the value of 1 here, so now it will be 1 into 2, okay. Now 1 will be multiplied by 2. Okay, like that the result variable will be getting updated every time. For example, next 3 will be coming here. So it will be 1 into 2 into 3, okay. Like that it will be getting updated, that's it. Then you can see this also, I less than or equal to num. So why this is? Because I should be getting increased till the value of num, okay. Till the value of 5, because we are multiplying 1 into 3 into 4 into 5, okay. So the I value should be 5, should be equal to 5. So we are giving I less than or equal to num. So it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. That's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now find the longest word in a string, okay. Find the longest word in a string. So here we are having a function, okay. Then we are having str, an argument parameter, and we are passing this string as the value for the str, okay. Then what we have to do here is find the longest word in the string, okay. So here we are having a lot of words. For example, the, quake, brown, fox, jumped over, all these things. Now what we have to do is, we have to return the length of the longest word. So we should be returning the length of the longest word, okay. That is what we have to do here. So how to do it, that is what we are going to see now. And move this return statement down, okay. And the first step what we are going to do is, we are going to split this complete string into separate words, okay. For that we are creating a variable called separated, okay. Let separated equal to. So how to do it? We have to give str.split. So far we have not seen split, okay. So let us see here. I have given like this, and I am going to be printing this console.log of separated, okay. And you can see the output here. Okay, you can see the output here. So you can see an array here, okay. You can see an array here, and there are many elements. So each word here, okay, the, quake, brown, fox, all these separate words or stored inside the array, okay, as a string. Okay, so what if I do not leave the space here? You can see only THE, okay, every letter is getting separated here. THE space QUICK, okay, every letter getting into a separate element of the array, okay. So what you can understand from here is, if you do not leave space here, each letter and each space will be considered as an element of the array. But if you are leaving space here, every word will be considered as a string, okay. But what if you leave one more space? So you can see the whole string has got into the array, okay. So what we have to do? We have to leave only one space. So if you are leaving only one space, this will be making every word an element of the array, okay. That's it. So this we do not need, so delete this. This is for checking purpose, okay. And again what I am going to do is I am going to be creating a variable called max length, okay. So max length is nothing but the maximum length, okay. Initially I will be setting it to 0. So later I will be telling you why I am using this, okay. Now I am going to be writing the answer completely and I will be explaining it to you. So coming to the answer, we have completed it. Okay, let me explain it. For example, let us display the separated array, okay. So it will be easy for you to understand the concept. So now you are having an array here, okay, of the, quake, brown, all these things. So what we are going to do now is, we are going to find which string is having the maximum length. For example, which is the longest word. So we are going to see the, quake, brown, fox, every word, okay. So we will be finding which is the longest word. And then what we have to do is, we have to return the length of that word. For example, jumped is the longest word, means we have to return 6 as the answer, okay. So that is what we have to do. So we are creating a for loop here because we have to access every word of that array, okay. The first word is the, and the second word is quake, and the third word is brown. Like that we have to access every word of that particular array, okay. And separated is the array because it is the array which is having all the words, okay, all the separated words, the, quake, brown, all these things, okay. You can see it here, separated array, okay. So we have to access this particular array and its element one by one. So we are using for loop. I am setting I equal to 0 because the index always starts from 0. So initially we will be accessing the word the, okay. Then the index should be less than the total length, okay, less than the total length, or we can write I less than or equal to separated dot length minus 1. So already we know all these concepts, how to access the array using index, okay, in the for loop. So up to the last index we will be accessing, and the index will be updated with addition of value of 1, okay. So the index will be starting with 0 and then 1, 2, 3, like that it will be adding by the value of 1, okay. So now what we will be doing is, we are having the index of 0, okay, and now we are using if statement here. So what is the if statement here? Separated of index I dot length. So it means that separated of index 0. So the initial value is 0. So separated of index 0. It means that the first element of the separated array, okay. So that is the, okay, the. So we are accessing the first element of that array and we are finding the length. So what is the length of the? It is 3, okay. So if it is greater than max length, it means that here we are having max length variable and we have set it to 0, okay. And if it is greater than 0, and it means true, okay, 3 is greater than 0, that is true. If this block gets true, this will be executed. So now what will be happening is max length will be updated with the value of separated of index I dot length. It means max length will be updated with the value of the length of the okay, and it means 3. Now the max length will be getting the value of 3, okay. Next the I will become 1 as the value increases by 1. So separated of index 1 dot length, okay. So next quake will be accessed and the length of the quake will be analyzed, and if it is greater than max length, for example, in the first iteration the max length has become 1, okay. Max length in the first iteration, okay, has become 3, okay, because the value of the length of the string is 3, so the max length has become 3 now, and with the second word it will be checked. So the length of the quake is 5, so it is true, okay. 5 is greater than 3, so 5 will be updated to the max length, okay. And in the second iteration 5 will be updated, okay, for the max length, to the max length, and then the I will be getting increased and it will be accessing the third, okay, third index. So this is also 5, so the third iteration the max length will be 5, and here you can see fox. So when this string is accessed, okay, and at that time the value will be 5, okay, in the third iteration. After the third iteration the max length will be 5, and you can see in the fourth iteration the length of the fox is 3. So in this condition will get failed. So 3 is not greater than 5, so max length will not be updated. So what you can understand is finally the greatest length, the longest word length will be updated here in the max length, okay. So that's it. It is very easy. I'm just elaborating it, okay. So it's very easy. I'm just explaining it in an elaborate way. So press Ctrl Enter. Now return largest numbers in arrays, okay. So here we have to return an array consisting of the largest number from each provided subarray, okay. So what they are saying is return an array consisting of the largest number, okay, from each provided subarray. So you can see here there is a function and it takes array as an argument, okay, arr, and that argument is nothing but this, okay. This is the array which is passed as an arr, okay. And you can see several subarrays in it. For example, 4 subarrays are there. Okay, 4 subarrays are there. So what they are saying is return an array consisting of the largest number. So there are 4 subarrays here and we have to return one subarray and that should be having the largest number among all these numbers, okay. So that should be returning the largest, so that array should be containing the largest number. For example, here you can see 1000 is the largest number, 1001 is the largest number. So this array should be returned, okay. So we have to write code like that. So let me finish writing the code and I will be explaining it, okay. So I have completed the code here. So let us start explaining it, okay. First we will be having an array here, okay, empty array assigned to the variable called results, okay. So we will be seeing why this empty array is created here, okay. So we can simply say in the question what they are saying is return an array consisting of the largest number. So we have to return an array that is having the largest number among these 4 arrays, okay. So this results is nothing but this is the resulting array, okay. This is the array which we are going to return, okay, that's it. Now we are using for loop here, okay. There is a for loop here and there is condition we have written. The condition is let I equal to 0. So this is nothing but we are going to access the arrays, okay. For example, here there is array and inside there are 4 arrays. So we have to access each subarrays, okay, each subarrays. For that we are using for loop. So always the first subarray will be starting with index 0. So I am giving let I equal to 0 and this index will be less than arr dot length, okay, or we can write I less than or equal to arr dot length minus 1. So we have already seen this for many times. So this is very common, okay, we already know how it works. So arr dot length minus 1 is nothing but the index of the last element, okay. So here array is the element which is present inside the array. So the index of this last array will be arr dot length minus 1, okay. And the index always increases by the value of 1. So I am giving I plus plus. Then what I will be doing is I am creating a variable called largest number, okay. I am creating a variable called largest number and I am assigning it with the value of arr of index I and index 0. So it means that arr of index I and index 0 means that the first element of the each subarray, okay, 4, 13, 32, 1000, okay, it means that only. For example, if arr of 0, 0 and 0, it means that the first element of the first subarray, okay. Like that, this means the first element of each subarray, okay. So we will see why we have included a variable here, okay, like that. Then what we will be doing is we are again creating a for loop and we are giving j equal to 1, j less than arr of index I dot length, okay. We can write like this also, arr of index I dot length minus 1, okay. So why we have nested a for loop again here? So we already have all seen all these things, okay? So why we are nesting a for loop inside a for loop? To access the elements of the subarray, okay? For example, if I have to access 4 or 5 or 1 or 3, I have to use for loop again inside the for loop, okay? So then what I am going to do is, I am going to give j equal to 1. So j equal to 1 is nothing but the second element. So I will say why we are using the second element first, okay? Here we are accessing the first subarray, okay? But here what we are doing is we are accessing the second element of the first subarray, okay? Second element of the subarray. So why? We will see why it is, okay? And the index of the last element in the subarray is nothing but ARR of index I dot length minus 1, okay? And that index will be added and it will be incremented by 1, okay? And inside this for loop we are going to have if condition, and that if condition is nothing but ARR of index I index j greater than largest number, okay? So here we can see I will be taking the value of 0 and it will be entering the block, okay? And then j will be taking the value of 1. So now what is the value of I and j? 0, 1, okay? 0, 1, 0 and 1. The value of I and j is 0 and 1, okay? I equal to 0 and j equal to 1. It means this will be accessing, okay? We have to write like this, 0 and 1. It means this 0 is nothing but the first subarray and this 1 is nothing but the second element, that means 5, okay? So why did not we take the first element of 4? Because we have added that element to the largest number, okay? So the first element of the each subarray will be assigned to the largest number, okay? So we will be starting with the second element always, and the condition is if the second number, this second element, okay, if this second element is greater than the first element and that is largest number, okay, if it is greater than that, the largest number will be updated with the value of ARR of index I index j, okay? So now you can see here we are having largest number as 4 and we will be comparing with the value of 5, and if 5 is greater than this 4, the largest number will be updated with the value of 5, okay? So that's it. Then I will be taking, then what will be happening with I equal to 0 in the next iteration with I equal to 0, okay, j will now become 2. So we will be accessing this, okay, we will be accessing 1. So now we will be comparing 1 with the largest number. Here you can see we will be comparing 1 with the largest number. So what is the largest number? Now the largest number would have become 5. So we will be comparing 1 with 5. So the condition will become false. Okay, this if condition will become false. So it will not update the largest number. So like this we will be comparing, okay, like this we will be comparing every element of the each subarray, okay? Then at last what will be happening is the largest number will be updated with the value which is the largest, okay? So that's it. Then so that's all here, okay, this part is over. Then we are going to have results of index I, okay? then results of index I equal to largest number. So let us see how it works. And one mistake I have committed and I have to tell you now, and that mistake is nothing but what they are telling is return an array consisting of the largest number from each provided array, okay, each provided subarray. Actually I have explained it in a wrong way, and that is what they are saying is you have to pick the largest number from each subarray, okay. From each subarray you have to pick the largest number, and you have to store it in a separate array, okay. So from here we will be picking 5 and will be storing in a separate array, and from here we will be taking 27 and we will be taking that and storing it into a separate array. Okay, like that what will be happening is, finally what will be happening is there will be an array and the largest number from each subarray, okay, from each subarray will be stored in this particular array. For example, 5 is the largest from the first subarray, and 27 is the largest from the second subarray, and 39 is the largest from the third, and 1001 is the largest from the fourth. Like this, the array will be having the largest number from each subarray, okay. So here coming to this, we are seeing results of index I equal to largest number, okay. So with I equal to 0, okay, we are starting with index I equal to 0. So this will be accessing the first subarray and it will be updating which is the largest number. For example, 5 will be updated as the largest number, okay. Then after completion of this if block, after completion of the for loop, finally what we will be doing is results of index I equal to largest number. So what we are doing here is results of index I is nothing but if the I value is 0, results of index 0, okay, it means the first element of the result element, okay, result array. So the first element of the result array will be updated with the value of largest number, okay. When the I increases, when the I becomes 1, so here I will become 1. So the second element of the results array will be added with the value of the largest number from the second array, okay, second subarray, that's it. And when I becomes 3, when I becomes 2, the largest number from the third subarray will be added in the results array, okay, that's it. So let us print the result and see how it works, okay. So I am giving console.log of and you can see the output 5, 27, 39, 1001, okay. So that is the largest number from each subarray. So press Ctrl Enter. So now this is confirm the ending, okay. Check if a string ends with the given target string, okay, ends with the given target string. For example, you can see here there is a string, okay, called Bastion, and we have to check whether this second argument of the function ends in the first argument. For example, we have to check whether n is ending with Bastion, okay, whether bastion is ending with n. Okay, that is what we have to check, and we have to confirm. Okay, that's it. And this challenge can be solved with the ends with method, which was introduced in ES 2015. But for the purpose of this challenge, we have to use one of the JavaScript substring methods. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to use slice method. Okay. So using slice method, we are going to check whether the target is ending, whether the str is ending with the target. Okay. So give str.slice method. Okay. So here inside the slice we have to give minus target dot length. Okay, and this is strictly equal to target. And let us see the output. Console dot log off, and it will be showing you true. But if I put E, it will be showing you false. Okay. So put n itself. So I am going to be explaining it. This is very easy, because when we are using slice, okay, when we are using slice method, it will copy and return. Okay. So which letter it will be copying? When we are giving str.slice, it will be copying the characters from the string. Okay. And the first parameter of the slice method is from which index it has to copy. Okay. And I have given target dot length here. So it means target dot length means the length of this target, and it is 1. Okay. And here you can see minus of 1. So this parameter will become -1. So when we are giving -1 as the argument to the slice, it will copy from the last. Okay, it will start copying from the last. So it will copy n. Okay, the last character. It will copy the last character. Okay, it will start from copying from the end, and it will copy n here. Okay. So, and it will be checking n equal to target, and that target is n. Okay. So now n is strictly equal to n. So it will become true. So it will be returning true. Okay. That's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now repeat a string. Okay. For example, repeat a given string str first argument for num times. So return an empty string if num is not a positive number. Okay. So what they are telling is they will be giving a string like this, and they will be giving how many number of times we have to repeat it. So we have to repeat ABC here for 3 times. Okay. And if num is not a positive number, okay, return an empty string. Okay, we have to return an empty string if num is not a positive number. So what we will be doing is we will be using for loop here. Okay, first of all we will be declaring a variable called let result. Okay, or resulted string. Okay, and we will be assigning it with empty. Then what we will be doing is we will be using for loop, and I will be setting let I equal to 0. So what I am doing here is let me do it and say it. Okay, let I equal to 0. Then this value will be less than n. Okay, or you can give I equal to 1, and we can give I less than or equal to n. Okay, and I plus plus. Then what we will be doing is resulted string plus equal to str. Okay, so finally return resulted string. That's it. And here I should not use n, I should use num. Okay, so that's it. Now console.log of. Now we can see ABC, ABC, ABC. Okay, so how it works? This is very simple. First of all, we have to create an empty string. Okay, and they are giving how many number of times it has to be, the string has to be repeated. So I am giving let I equal to 1. Okay, and then I less than or equal to num, and then I plus plus. It means that if I am giving I less than or equal to num, okay, I less than or equal to num, actually the I is starting with value 1. So if I am giving I less than or equal to num, if num is 5, so I will be going up to the value of 5. So 5 iterations will be taking place. Okay, so 5 times this for loop will be executed. So 5 times this str will be added to the resulted string. Okay, so that is the meaning of this. So every time the I value increases and this block is executed, okay, every time when the I value increases and this block is executed, the string str will be added to the resulted string every time. Okay, that's it. So finally, after the for loop is over, okay, after all the iterations have taken place, we will be returning the resulted string. Okay, so even if num is not positive, as in the question they have said, if num is not positive, for example, num is -1, okay, so press Ctrl Enter. So num will not be -1, actually they will not give -1 times, you are going to be repeating it. So even if they give 0, even if they give 0, 1 will not be less than or equal to 0. Okay, yeah, even if they give -1, 1 will not be some sorry, even if they give num as the value with -1, 1 will not be less than or equal to -1, so this will become false. So this block will not be executed. So the resulted string, that is empty, okay, the empty string will be returned. Okay, that is what the concept told here. Return an empty string if num is not a positive number. Okay, press Ctrl Enter. Now truncate a string, okay, and that string is the first argument here. Okay, here you can see the first argument as the string if it is longer than the given maximum string length. So they are giving maximum string length. So if this string is longer than the maximum given length, what we have to do is we have to truncate the string. Okay, return the truncated string with a ... ending. So that is what we are going to do. For example, if they are specifying the length up to a tasket, and if it is longer than this, the remaining part, this will become dot. Okay, that is what truncating is. Okay, so for this I have written the answer here. Okay, this is very simple, and using slice method we can do it. For example, this is the string and this is the maximum length of the string. Okay, I am using if block here, if condition here. and I am giving string dot length greater than num. So if the length of the string is greater than the length that they have specified, for example, if they are telling 8 should be the maximum length, so if the length of the string is greater than the maximum length that they have specified, what we can do is we can return a string that is str.splice of 0 comma num plus empty, okay, and that is having dots. So what does it mean? So we will be copying some characters from this string, okay, using slice method, and the first parameter of the slice method will be from which index we have to copy, okay. So from the starting we will be copying, so we will be giving index of 0, and the second is nothing but the ending string, for example, the ending index. For example, if I am giving 9 as the index here, it will be copying up to 0 to 8th index, okay. So we already know slice method, this is very very easy. So if the num here is 9, so it means that it will be copying from index of 0 to 9, okay, 0 to index of 8, okay. So if I am giving num as 9 here, it will be copying from the index of 0 to 8, okay, and not 9. So that's it. So before the index, up to the, actually the index, actually if they are specifying the maximum length as 8, for example, if they are specifying the maximum length of the string should be 8, okay, 8, here also the 8 will come, okay, but we will be copying from the index of 0 to 7. So even if we are copying from index of 0 to 7, it will be accessing the 8th element only, okay, the 8th character only, because the index of the 8th character will be 7, okay. So even if we are copying from 0 to index of 7, it will be copying the 8th element also, the 8th character also, okay. So I am always saying element, so we can call element, but the actual word should be used here as character, okay, alphabet. So we will be copying the 8th alphabet also, okay. And after that what we will be doing, we will be adding 3 dots. So we are using string of 3 dots, okay. And we are using else block here. So if the string is not greater than the maximum length that they have specified, we should return the string as it is, okay. That's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now we are going to see finders keepers. Create a function that looks through an array ARR and returns the first element in it that passes a truth test, okay. This means that given an element x, the truth test is passed if function of x is true. If no element passes the test, return undefined. So if you have to understand this question clearly, you can read this, okay. Here you can see an array 1, 3, 5, 8, 9, 10, and the second one is the function, and that function is having num as the parameter, okay. And here you can see the function return num modulus 2 strictly equal to 0, okay. So it means when that number is divided by 2, it should not leave any remainder, okay. So the remainder should be 0. It means that it is a even number. So we should and it should return 8, okay. So what they are saying here is there are set of numbers and all the numbers will be given to this test, okay. All the numbers will be put to this test, and the number, the first number which passes this test, okay, that will be returned. So 1 will not be passing the test because it is odd, and 3 will not be passing, 5 will not be passing. So 8 is the first number which passes this test, so it should be returned, okay. That's it. So we have to write a program like this. So let us delete these things, okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to use for loop, okay. And what we will be doing is we will be accessing the array using for loop with index, okay. So here we can see array and this is function. So we should check which of the elements, okay, will pass this test, and we will be returning the element which passes this test, okay. So we will be returning the element which passes this test. So that is what we have to do now. So in order to access this array, we have to use for loop, and I am going to be giving let I equal to 0. So this will access the first index, okay, the element of the, so I equal to 0 is nothing but the index of the first element of the array, and the index will be added by the value of 1, okay. So the index will be 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. So the final index should be, final, how can we write the final index? We can write arr dot length minus 1, okay. This is the index of the last element of the array. So I should be reaching up to that point, so we can give I less than or equal to, okay. So already we know all these things. Then what we are going to do is we are going to use if condition. So I am going to be using if condition, and what we have to put in the if condition, we have to check if that particular array is passing the test or not, okay. That is what we have to check. So in the function what you have to give is, actually in this function they have used the argument name as num, okay. So this function will be getting the argument of num, parameter of num, okay. So what we have to do here is, before this if statement itself, we have to declare something, and that is you have to declare num equal to arr of index I, okay. So now this index I will become num, okay. Now this arr of index I will become num, okay, or sorry, the num will become arr of index I, okay. So we will be giving this function, and this function will be getting the num parameter as you can see here, okay. So you have to now give num inside. So what will be the value of num? Arr of index I, okay, that is the value of num here. Now you have to open the if condition, and in the if condition we have to return num, okay. So if the number passes this test, okay, if this function becomes true, the num will be returned, okay. Otherwise, what we have to do is, we have to return undefined. So where do we have to write the undefined? Outside the for loop, okay. If none of the elements of the array, passes this function, we should return undefined, okay. So after coming to the conclusion that none of the elements passes this function test, okay, we can write undefined, okay, return undefined. So that only we are writing it outside the for loop, because after the for loop gets over, we can come to a conclusion that none of the numbers has passed this function, okay, this test. That's it. And here some error. What is it? Actually it shows num is not defined. Yes, num is not defined. So what I said at first was, here they have defined it with the name of num. So I told here also it should be num. But let us try with it, okay. Let us give ARR of index I, and then we will see what will happen. So here I will be giving ARR of index I itself, okay. Now press Ctrl Enter. Yeah, it works. Okay, it works. So this is just a function, so you can give any parameter name here, okay. You can give any parameter name. Whatever parameter name you can give, this will be testing with this condition, okay. That parameter divided by 2 equal to 0, okay. Remainder of 0. That is what it will be testing. So that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now check if a value is classified as a Boolean primitive. Return true or false, okay. So here you can see boohoo. There is a function actually. There is a function and it receives the parameter of bool. Okay, here they have given null. And here you can see if the argument is passed as true, it will return true. If the argument is passed as false, it will return true, okay. Like that we have to see. So what is the concept here means, we have to check whether this argument is a Boolean or not, okay. The argument passed to it is a Boolean or not. For example, here they have given true and that is a Boolean, so we are returning it as true. Here they have given false, so this is a Boolean, so we have returned true. And here they have given an array, so it is not a Boolean, so we have returned false. So like that we have to check whether the parameter is a Boolean or not. If it is a Boolean, we will be giving true, okay, that's it. So what we are going to do is return type of, okay. Actually type of, this O should be small, okay. Return type of bool strictly equal to string of Boolean, okay. So that's it. So what will be happening here is, we will be receiving an argument of bool, and what we are doing here is, we will be checking the type of bool, okay, this argument. And if the type is a Boolean, it will return true. So if this condition becomes true, it will return true, okay. So if this is equal, if these two things are equal, it will be returning true. So this is how we have to check the argument is a Boolean or not. So we have to give type of and we have to write the argument, and it should be strictly equal to boolean. Okay, so if it is a boolean, it will become true, so it will be returning true, that's it. Otherwise it will return false. Press Ctrl Enter. Here return the provided string with the first letter of each word capitalized. Okay, so the first letter of the each word should be in uppercase. Make sure the rest of the word is in lowercase. Okay, for the purpose of this exercise you should also capitalize connecting words like the and of. So every word should be having the first letter in capital. Okay, that is what we have to do now. So here you can see a string. In the string, every word should be having the first letter in capitalized. Okay, so that is what we have to do here. So the first thing which I am going to do is I am going to be creating a variable called splitted. Okay, and it will be creating an array, and it will be storing every word as a separate element in an array. For example, I am will be a separate element in an array, yeah will be a separate element in an array, little will be a separated element in an array. Okay, like that it will be storing. So how to do this? So we have to give str dot split, and you have to give double quotes and a space. So every word of this string will be separated into a separate word. Okay, into a separate element in an array. So that's it. Let us see the output of console.log of splitted. You can see every word here has become a separate element in an array. Okay, so then what we are going to do is we are going to make this every element getting capitalized. Okay, for the first letter of the every element getting capitalized, that is what we are going to do. So then what we are going to do is we are going to create for loop to access every word of this array. So I am going to give for loop. Then what I am going to do is I am going to create for in loop. Okay, I am going to create for in loop. So I am going to create let word in splitted. Okay, so what will be happening is every word of this splitted array will be accessed separately. Okay, so let us see it. So now the first iteration of the for loop will be accessing this I am. Okay, so every word of this array will be accessed individually. So that's it. That is the work of for in. So already we have seen what is for in the previous classes itself. Okay, so before this I am going to be creating a separate I am going to be creating a new array where the resulting words will be stored. Okay, so I am giving let result equal to an empty array. So this is the place where our resulting words will be saved. For example, the first letter capitalized words, okay, will be stored in this result. Okay, result array. So now what I am going to do is I am going to give result of word, okay, equal to splitted, okay, splitted of word of index 0 dot to uppercase. Okay, there should be parenthesis. So now what will happen is you leave this. Okay, this is not necessary here now. So just focus on this. Okay, just focus on this. So I am giving splitted and this is the array. Okay, and the array I have given here, and this word is nothing but the word which we are accessing from that array. For example, if I am accessing I am, so this word is nothing but that I am. Okay, and I am giving the index of 0. It means the first letter of the I am. Okay, the first letter of the I am, that is what the index of 0, and I am giving it to uppercase. So now the first letter of that word will become uppercase. Now we are going to make rest of the words to lowercase. So how to do it? So now we have to give splitted of that word, okay, dot splice of 1. So it means that splitted is the array which we are accessing, and word is the particular word that we are accessing now, and dot splice of 1 means it will be copying all the letters from the index 1, so leaving the first letter. Then what we are going to do is we are going to give 2 lowercase. So all these copied letter from the first index will be now made to lowercase. Okay, so give semicolon. So now it will be stored. Okay, now it will be stored in the result array. Okay, of that particular word. For example, now we are accessing the first word, so it will be stored as the first word in the result array. That's it. Okay, normally what we will be doing is we will be pushing the words. So here that is not necessary. If we give result of index of word, so it will be stored as the first word. Okay, and then when we are accessing the second word, it will be stored as the second word. Like that it will be going on. That's it. So finally we will be returning this result. So when we will be returning? After the for loop is over. So after the for loop is over, all the words will be getting changed. Okay, so then we will be returning that array. That's it. Okay, so here we have to return that array. So give a return result. Actually I have used splice here. Okay, that is my mistake actually. When you are copying words, you should use slice and it is not splice. Okay, spelling mistake, but I told it right, I think so. And here I have done one more mistake. We should give bracket to the lowercase. Okay, and one more mistake. Okay, I'm sorry. And that mistake is we have stored all these separate words into that array now. Okay, with first letter capital in this particular array. But what we have to return is we have to return it as a string like this. Okay, again we have to make this as a string. So what we have to do is we have to give array name dot join of double quotes and a space. Okay, so when you are giving like this, it will become a string now. Yeah, it works now. So that's it. So you are splitting here. Okay, and now you are joining it again. That's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now you are going to see slice and splice. You are given two arrays and an index. copy each element of the first array into the second array in order. Begin inserting elements at index n of the second array. Return the resulting array. Okay. The input array should remain the same after the function runs. So what they are saying is every element of the array 1 should be copied to the array 2. Okay. And the elements should be copied with the the elements should be copied at the index of n, okay, in the array 2. That's it. So if the n is 0, the element should be copied at the first of the array 2 itself, at the beginning of the array 2 itself. Okay. So that is what they are saying. So read the question again, it will be easy to understand the question. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to write the answer. I will be writing the answer and I will be explaining you very clearly. Okay. So I have written the answer and now I will be explaining you very clearly. Now what I have done is I have created a variable here, okay, using let keyword. And what I have done is I have written arr2.slice. So slice method is actually used to copy all the elements. Okay. If none of the parameters is given inside the slice, all the elements will be copied. So all the array 2 elements will be copied to local array now. Okay. Because what they have said here is the input array should remain the same after the function runs. So no changes should be made on the original array. So we are using a duplicate array, okay, duplicate of the arr2. Now we have created a for loop, okay, to access the arrays using the index. Okay. So for index, initially I have given the value of 0, so let I equal to 0, and the index of the last element should be, I will give equal to here, the index of the last element should be arr.length minus 1. Okay. So arr1.length minus 1, arr1.length minus 1, that is the index of the last element of the array 1. Okay, that's it. So the index should be accessing up to the last element. Okay. So we have given I less than or equal to the index of the last element. Okay. And the index should be added every time. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. That's it. So we have given I plus plus. And in the execution block, what we have done here is we have taken the duplicate of the array 2 and that is local array, and we are using splice method. Okay, splice. So splice method, and splice method takes 3 parameters. The first parameter is at which index. Okay, at which index. So that is the first parameter. So that is nth index. Okay. And the second parameter is how many elements have to be removed, and that is we do not want to remove any elements, so we are giving 0. And then what are the elements that should be added? So the element which we have to add is the first element of the array 1. Okay. So we are giving arr1 of index I. So every time the loop iterates, every element of the array 1 will be added. Okay. So that is why we are giving arr1 of index I. Okay. Then what will be happening is n plus plus. So here what happens is, let me tell you very clearly. For example, I am having an array, okay, and the value of array is 1, 2, 3, and what they are saying is at the index from the what they are saying is from the index of 0 you should be adding you should be adding numbers of 5, 6, 7. Okay. So what will happen? So at the 0th index, that means at the first I will be adding 5. Okay. But 6 will be added at which index? Whether I will be adding 6 at the index of 0? No, that's impossible. So I will be adding 6 at the index of 1. Okay. 6 will be added at the index of 1. Okay, that is after 5. So now the index value gets increased now. Okay, and 7 will be getting added at the index of 2. So now the index of 7 is greater than 6 by 1. Okay, so here you can see every element will be added at the index of greater than 1. Okay, so that is why we are using n plus plus here. So if it is not easily understandable, just see it. Okay, so it will be easily understandable. So ARR 1 of index 0 will be added at the index of n. After it is added, ARR 1 of index 1, okay, that index 1 will be added with the index of n plus plus. Okay, that is the index will be getting added by 1, and ARR of index 2 will be added with the index of n plus plus. Okay, so the n will be getting increased by the value of 1 again. Okay, that's it. So delete this. So here also you have to give I. Okay, press Ctrl Enter. Remove all falsy values, okay, from array. So falsy values in JavaScript are false, null, 0 and empty string, undefined, nan. All these things are falsy values. So we have to remove all the falsy values from the array. Hint they have given us, try converting each value to a boolean. Okay. So this can be done very easily because we are going to use if statement. Okay. So for accessing this array, what we are going to do is we are using for loop. So go with for loop, and I am going to be creating I equal to 0 because the starting index will be 0 in any array and the index will be getting added every time. So like this, and we have to give the final index, and that is ARR dot length minus 1. Okay. So this is the index of the final element, and this I, this index should be accessing up to the last element. Okay, so we are giving I less than or equal to ARR dot length minus 1. Okay, then what we will be doing is we will be opening the for loop, and before this we are going to create an array. For example, what they are telling is remove all falsy values from an array. So we will be removing all the falsy values and we will be returning only the true values. So I am creating an array for this. So I am using let true values. Okay, I am creating an empty array like this. So I will be storing all the true values in it. So how can we identify the value is a true value? So we are using if condition here. Okay, so if I am giving if ARR of index I, okay, if I am just giving ARR of index I, so if this is a true value, this if condition will be working. Otherwise if this if condition will not work. So that's it. So I am going to be pushing this true value to the true values. Okay, true values dot push of ARR of index I. And finally, after this for loop is over, okay, after all the elements are checked whether they are true or not, we will be finally returning true values array. Okay, so it's working. That's it. So go ahead. Now it is where do I belong. Okay, here you can see ARR an array. Okay, and there is number. So here you can see an array and here there is a number. So in this what we are going to do is, we are having an array and there is a number. We should check the place, okay, where do I belong. So if they have given 50, so where this 50 should be inserted in this array. So we all know after 40 and before 60 it has to be added. Okay, so return the lowest index at which a value should be inserted into an array. For example, here you are already having a 50. Okay, you are already having a 50 here. So what they are telling is, find at which lowest index it should be added. For example, we can add 50 after this 50, or we can add before that 50. Okay, here also we can add it. So at the lowest index, that is what they want us to find. So what is the lowest index at which we can insert that number? That is what they need from us. Okay, so these are all code. So in order to find that, we are going to use filter. Okay, so delete this. So now we are going to use filter here. So give arr.filter. We are going to filter this array. Okay, so while filtering this array, we are going to filter based on some conditions. So for that condition, what we are going to do is, we are passing an argument. For example, element. Okay, for that I am giving element itself, and I am going to give arrow here, and I am going to be giving condition as element less than num. Okay, so I am going to check what are the elements that are less than the num. Okay, here we can see num, so that is 50. So how many what are the elements that are smaller than 50 in that array? Okay, that is what we are doing here. So this element can be in any name. Okay, we can give it as x also. Okay, that is our wish. So based on this condition, it will be giving us values. So I am giving console.log of arr.filter. Okay, so it will be giving me the values of 40. So in this array, 40 is the value which is less than 50. Okay, so it will be giving the value of 40. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to find the lowest index at which this number can be inserted. Okay, so what we are going to do is, we are going to find the length of the numbers which are less than our given number. Okay, so I am giving dot length. So now you can see only one number is less than 50. Okay, only one number is less than 50 in this array. So the number should be, this 50 should be added at the index of 1. Okay, actually we should not say like that. Only one number is less than 50, so we have to add 50 as the second element. Okay, second element. So what is the index of the second element? The index is 1. Okay, so the index of the number which has to be added is as same as the length of the numbers which are less than that number. Okay, so both are same. So we are just going to be returning this itself. Okay, so just cut this and return it. Okay, that's it. Return and just paste this. So it means that this will be the index at which the number has to be located. Okay, that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now we are going to see mutations. Return true if the string in the first element of the array contains all of the letter of the string in the second element of the array. Okay. So here we can see the first string is not having the same letters in the second string, so it is false. But here you can see the first string is having all the letters same as the second string, so it is true. Okay, and here also you can see Mary is having all the letters. Mary is having all the letters which are in the second string. Okay, so the letters can be rearranged, but the first string should be having all the letters in the second string. Okay, and here also you can see there is Mary and army, so extra there is an A in the second string, but all the letters in the first string are available in the second string also, so it should return true. So like that we have to see, and here we have to see whether all the letters in the first string are available in the second string. So obviously this is false, but using programming we have to do it. So that's it. So first of all, what we are going to do is very simple, and that is and before getting into the code, one thing we have to understand here, this is an ARR, okay, array. So this is an array which is passed as the argument, and there are two words, okay, first word and the second word inside that array. So whenever we are accessing these two words, we will be accessing this with the index of 0, and we will be accessing this with the index of 1. So first thing which we are going to do is we have to make both the words to lowercase. Okay, otherwise we cannot check whether the words are available or there or not. Okay, so if it is uppercase, it will be showing error. So if one is lowercase and another one is uppercase, it will be showing you error. So we have to make all the letters to lowercase in both of the words. So how to do it? And after making to lowercase, we will be storing it in a variable, new variable. So I am giving let first word, or let first equal to ARR of index 0 dot to lowercase. Okay, to lowercase, and let second equal to ARR of index 1 to dot lowercase. Okay, so now both of the words will be converted to small letters. Here you can see these are small, that's okay, but if you are getting different argument, for example here you can see Mary and army, so they are having capital letters, so we should change the letters at first itself. Okay, and then I will be completing the answer and I will be explaining it to you. So I have completed the answer, now I will be explaining it to you. Okay, so here I have created a for loop. Okay, so in that for loop I will be accessing the array, I will be accessing the second word. Okay, the second word, here I have written the second. Okay, so I will be accessing the second word. For example, here you can see hey, okay. So for accessing the second word, I am going to be using index. So the starting index will be 0 and the index limit will be I less than second dot length, or otherwise you can write I less than or equal to second dot length minus 1. Okay, so both are same, because second dot length minus 1 is nothing but the index of the last character of the second word. Okay, that's it. And the index will be getting increased by 1, and then in the execution block what we will be doing is we are inserting if statement. Okay, so what is the condition given in the if condition? First dot index of second of index I. So already we know that if we have to check whether an element is present inside an array or in a string, what we can do is we can use index of. Okay, index of method, we already know it. So here also we are using index of method to come to a conclusion that whether the element is present or not. Okay, so what we are doing is I am going to be checking every element of the second word. Okay, I am going to be checking every letter of the second word is present inside the first word or not. Okay, that is what I am going to check. So I am going to give first dot index of second of I. So it means that second of index I is nothing but the letter of the second word, first letter, second letter, third letter, all those things. Okay, it depends on the index. So this particular letter of the second word is present inside the first or not. Okay, that is what I am checking with the value less than 0. Okay, so if this particular letter is present in the first word, the index will be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, the index will be greater than or equal to 0, because index will be starting always with 0. If it does not present, the index will be less than 0. Okay, so we can come to a conclusion that this letter of the second word is not present inside the first word. Okay, so I will be returning a false. Okay, I will be returning false. So that is the condition here. If any of the letters, even a single letter, is not present, for example, if even not a single letter is not present inside the first word, okay, if even not a single letter of the second word is present inside the first word, we have to return false. Okay, that is what the condition here is. So we have returned false here. Okay, so if this if condition is always getting false, it will become true. Okay, it will return true. So why? When will the if condition get false? If all the letters are present inside the another word, this if condition will get false. Okay, so this block will not be executed. So straight away this block will be executed and it will be returning true. Okay, press Ctrl Enter. Now chunky monkey. Okay, write a function that splits an array. Okay, and into groups the length of size. Write a function that splits an array. Okay, it splits an array into groups the length of size. Into groups the length of size. For example, what you can see here is there is an array ABCD and they have given 2. It means that you have to split ABCD into 2 arrays. Okay, and here you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is an array and they are giving 3. So we should split this one array into 3 arrays. Okay, that is what they are saying. So how to do it? So here you can see there are A, B, C, D and size is 2. So A, B, C, D should be separated into 2 arrays and it has to be stored in a new array. Okay. So what I will be doing is I will be completing the code and I will be explaining you in a very easy manner. Okay. So let us go. So this is the code that I have written, and you can see there is a function which receives an array and they are giving the size. Okay. So I am going to be creating a new array and that is empty. Okay. I am going to be creating a new empty array and this is where all our separated arrays will be stored. For example, here ABCD is there and it will be splitted into 2. So A and B will be stored as an array in this array and C and D will be stored as an array in this array. Okay. So we are using while condition here. Okay. And in this while we are using, while loop, it is not a condition. We are using while loop here, and in the while loop we are giving condition as arr dot length greater than 0. So how many times this loop will be executing means this loop will be executing for the number of elements that is present in the array. Okay, for example, this element is having the length of 4. So this array is having the length of 4. So 4 times this while loop will be executing. Okay. 1, 2. No, it will not be executing to 4 times. It will be executing to 3 times. For example, the length of this array is 4. Okay. Yeah, it will be executing 4 times only. I'm sorry. So it will be executing for 4 times. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 0, 1, 2, 3. Up to 3 it will be executing. So from 0 to 3. So it is 4. 4 times this loop will be executing. Now what I am going to do is I am going to be pushing into the new ARR. Okay. I am going to be adding values to the new ARR using push method. So in the push method what I am going to do is I am going to give ARR dot splice of 0, size. Okay. So I am using splice method on the array. So what is the splice method? The first argument will be the index at which the number of elements have to be removed or added. Okay. So it specifies the index. And the second argument is number of elements which have to be removed. Okay. So I have given the number of elements which have to be removed as size. Okay, the same as size. So for example, here the size will be 2. So we are giving 2 here, so the size will be 2. Okay. So let me tell you what will happen at the first iteration. At the first iteration of the while loop, what will happen is at the index of 0, 2 elements will be removed. Okay, because we have given 2 here. So at the index of 0, 2 elements will be removed and the removed elements will be pushed to the new ARR. Okay. So what will be the 2 elements removed? This A and B from the index of 0. These are the 2 elements. Okay. So A and B will be removed and they will be pushed to new ARR. So now new ARR will get the value of A comma B because there are 2 values. So it will be sent to the array as an array. Okay. Now what will happen is now the original array ARR, what will happen to this ARR? Now this ARR will become C comma D. Okay. And in the second iteration what will happen? Second iteration what will happen is Now we are having C and D as the elements. So now at the index of 0 again, okay, at the index of 0, 2 elements have to be removed. So from the index of 0, 2 elements have to be removed means C and D will be removed and they will be stored to the new ARR, okay. So now new ARR will be having, already there was an array A comma B and now we will be adding another array, so C and D, okay. And then now ARR will become empty. So in the third iteration there is no possibility to remove the items because already is empty, okay, already it is empty. And also in the fourth iteration also it is like that only, okay. Fourth iteration also it is like that only, already the array is empty, so it is not possible to remove any more elements. So the final new ARR will be looking like this, A comma B comma C comma D, okay, that's it. So let us check the result now by making it displayed using console.log of chunky array function, okay. Now we will be getting the result of A comma B comma C comma D, okay, that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now we have completed basic algorithm scripting, okay. We have successfully completed the basic algorithm scripting. Next what we will be seeing is object oriented programming and we will be seeing it in the next class. And thank you for watching my videos, friends. Thank you for supporting me and please do subscribe. Let us see in the next video. Thank you.